So is potassium iodide Rad-X? So in my last video, I talked about how potassium iodine pills are not anti-radiation pills. And a lot of people in my comments mentioned that maybe potassium iodine is more like Rad-X. I myself do not play Fallout. I think that I know that I can't suspend reality to play a game like this when I work in the field of nuclear and radiation. So I had to go look up what is Radaway and what is Rad-X. For those who don't know the lore of Fallout, Radaway is able to take out the radioactive particles from your body. Rad-X uses your natural immunity to protect you from radiation. Please don't come at me if I got that wrong. So which one of those is potassium iodide? None of them. I'm sorry. I had some people in my comments coming at me saying that I was kind of being pedantic and that these were actually kind of anti-radiation pills. But I stand by my original statement. Potassium iodide pills are not anti-radiation pills, and they're not Rad-X and they're not Radaway. I think that the statement that I needed to emphasize was this one here.
It's only applicable to certain conditions and to certain people and a specific isotope.
I really needed to emphasize that this is only applicable to specific radioactive elements. Radioiodine. I think people were thinking that radioiodine is all there is to radiation. First off, radioiodine is not radiation itself. It is an element that emits radiation. You can refer to as radioactive material or a radioactive isotope. Radioiodine has about half a dozen different isotopes that are radioactive ones that we are typically concerned about. This is out of hundreds of other radioactive isotopes out there of different elements. So when it comes to protecting you from radiation, only when radioiodine is present does it actually do any protection. The only time that you would be taking potassium iodide is if you're responding to a nuclear emergency of a nuclear plant that was operating in the last few months, or if you're living close by to a nuclear plant was operating in the last few months. Also, you might be directed to take radioiodine if you're actually handling the isotope physically. And you would only take it if you were told to by a medical, emergency management, or public health official. The reason why I mentioned taking it after a nuclear plant accident involving a nuclear plant that was operating in the last few months is because after those few months, all of the radioiodine has pretty much decayed away and you're no longer worrying about it. If you took potassium iodide after any other situation, it's really not going to help you at all. Just like any other medication, you should only take it as directed. So if you're taking it in any other situation, you're already not taking it as directed. If you're not taking it as directed, you can harm yourself. Additionally, if you're taking potassium iodide, you might have this false sense of security like you're protecting yourself when you aren't at all. Other situations where you're not going to help yourself at all would be in the case of a dirty bomb, in case of a nuclear plant accident after a few months of shutdown, and even a nuclear bomb. That's right. Even after a nuclear bomb, potassium iodide isn't going to help you that much. That's because the amount of radioiodine present after a nuclear bomb is actually really small. Most of it stays way up in the upper atmosphere. Additionally, any of that fallout that comes down isn't going to be very breathable. So taking potassium iodide really doesn't have a huge benefit. So I stand by what I said. Potassium iodine pills are not anti-radiation pills. They're not Rad-X and they're not Radaway.